Number 4 is validation. So I said earlier that feelings are always real, they're not always accurate. If I validate an emotion, does it mean I agree with it? I can recognize you're mad, you're frustrated, you're disappointed, you're sad, you're angry, you're hurt. That doesn't mean I have to take that on to myself, and it doesn't mean that I have to agree with that either. Jared could be mad at Paige, and Mua could be mad at Paige, and I could understand why they were mad without agreeing why they were mad at Paige, because I know the other side of the situation. I understand what happened. Most of the time when we get in this argument that says, you don't understand me, okay? It's about the emotion that's behind it. But let me ask you this. Do you have to understand somebody to care about them or love them? It's hard, isn't it? Because we put this assumption that's here that says, you have to understand for this to be okay for me to go through. But here's an example. I will never know what it's like for my wife to go through childbirth. I won't. Physically, I can't do it. But if my wife were to say, my pain is at a 10, I can relate to her because there have been situations in my life that I felt my pain was at a 10. Will it be exactly what she's feeling? No. But it helps me understand the intensity. The other example I use is the engine of your car. Y'all drove cars to get here today? How many of you know how to rebuild the engine of your car? Do you understand how the power is transferred from your engine to your transmission, or from your transmission to your transfer case? Do you understand where it goes from one wheel to two wheels, or it becomes an all-wheel drive? Do we have to understand how everything on that car works for it to work for us? No. We know basic maintenance. Put gas in it, change the battery if it needs it, otherwise we get in that awkward position where it won't start. Change the oil, otherwise it breaks down and we have very expensive repairs. We don't have to know every little detail. We don't have to understand for the car to work for us. So we don't have to understand what somebody's going through. Most arguments come when people try to validate and they say, oh, I understand. And the other person says, you don't understand jack shh. Right? So it's more, I see that you're feeling this way. So with validation, we are looking here. 3 keywords right at the top. Help me understand. They are so important. Help me understand are 3 of the most connecting words you can have because you don't have to solve the problem for them. When you say, help me understand, you give an option to step back and let them put words to what they're feeling. Now, you might not understand, just like I said, but you are going to get another perspective of what they're going through. And the fact that you're trying to understand is going to show them that you care. 3 words that destroy everything. Just ignore it. That's very invalidating. I don't care. Very invalidating. And another one that I want to stress here. Act like an adult. When somebody says that to somebody, act like an adult, you're insulting them. You're immediately putting walls up. When we say act like an adult, what are we really saying?
You're being childish.
Okay. If you're acting childish, what are we wanting from them if we want them to act like an adult? And a lot of times when they say man up, or pull up your big girl pants, or whatever it is along the way, what they're trying to say is, I went through this, it sucked, I made it through, now you got to deal with it. So it's just dismissive. When we say act like an adult or you're acting childish, what we're really saying is talk to me, communicate with me. But instead of saying, okay, I'm not getting it, I'm not understanding, keep talking to me, tell me what's going on, we revert to the simple act like an adult. Okay? So, validate, validate, validate. One of the biggest healing things that can ever be done for trauma is a validation of feelings. You cannot go back and change something that happened to somebody. You can't change the past, but we can acknowledge that they went through it and they made it through.